And we are back, yes, and you're still watching Unleashing Your Potential with myself, Coach Toriso. We are talking about healing. We are talking about wounds. And I have a question here. Lovely stories, lovely journey that you guys had to go through, yet it was painful, but it made you who you are right now. But then, does time heal all wounds? Let me start with you, Coach Neo. Does time heal all wounds?
I think yes, start with Coach Neo, because I think this is where our views will definitely pass.
Yeah. You know, I wrote a book, almost the same title, right?
Yeah.
I titled it, Does Time Really Heal?
Yeah.
But the reason I titled it that was not to bring a solution, right? But I'm going to bring it for you.
Okay.
But it was to say that to people who keep saying, just give it time. To people who are mourning, I was just trying to tell them, guys, just stop it, right? Everybody grieves at their own pace, should grieve at their own pace and at their own time. Now let's go back to the question, does time really heal, right? Does it? I think, what is time? For you, time can be 1 minute. For you, time can be 1 year.
Yeah.
For somebody else, it could be 20 years.
Yeah.
I spoke to, when I was doing research for my book, I spoke to somebody who said, when I was young, my grandmother was my everything. And when my grandmother passed away, after a couple of months, I tried to talk to my cousins, I tried to talk to my mother even, and everybody was saying, dude, come on, grandma has been gone for a couple of months now. Stop talking about it. Let's just move on.
Sure.
You know, and she kept quiet because they said that.
Oh,
she
yeah.
never spoke to anybody. And then when I finally released the book, she said, no, I've been carrying this for 15 years. And it goes back to the wound, right?
Yeah.
I've been carrying this for 15 years. And every time I tried to speak to somebody, somebody said to me, shut up. Yeah, somebody kept me down. And for me, it feels new, especially when I read your book. It feels new because I didn't deal with it. Now, when you say to somebody, time will heal, let's say you are close to your husband, you know how he smells. If he comes back from work, you're in the bathroom, he didn't make noise. When you come out, you're like, my husband's perfume is here, right?
Yeah, the scent is there.
Yeah. And then, God forbid, he dies. 2 years later, you're getting into a room and somebody who uses the same perfume as your husband,
that's a trigger,
was in the room. And then you look around, it's a trigger, right? And then for you, it starts all over again.
You start missing him. You start feeling all those.
Yeah. For me, I would be maybe in a line at Pick and Pay, and then I'm buying and I'm seeing somebody from the back who has ears like her, who has a neck like her, who is
same size and shape,
same size, the hair. I'm like, no.
This is my wife. She's back.
And then I would actually go around and look at them. And people will be surprised. And those are the triggers. Now, when you talk about time healing, before we talk about the word healing, when you talk about time healing, right, there's no answer. There's no answer because you could heal in 2 years. I could heal in 5.
Yeah.
It took me 8 years to understand where I am. I'm not going to say it took me 8 years to heal. It took me 8 years to talk about her and not be in tears.
Okay.
Right?
Yeah.
You know, and healing, let me tackle the word healing. Healing for you is not the same as for me.
Yeah.
So I prefer not to use the word healing, but I'm saying I have adjusted to the pain because sometimes it does come back.
Yeah.
And when it comes back, sometimes 2 days you're in bed, you don't know what to do with yourself, but you are able to cope. In the beginning, you couldn't cope, you know, and that's how I analyze the whole thing. But we need to stop saying to people, move on. We need to stop saying to people, man, just give it time, it will be better.
My lady, Coach, does time really heal all wounds?
I thought I was going to disagree with Coach Neo, but I think that for me, time doesn't change anything, it reveals.
It reveals.
And grieving for anything is a process. Healing is a process.
It's a process, yeah.
And the word process being the operative word. For anything that is a process, for everything that we're doing here today, there had to be a process in order for the viewers to be able to watch us on TV.
Yeah.
So what Neo is saying, to say, you know, when somebody says, ah, you know, you're young, you're going to have more children. It took me so much time. It took me so much time, because especially in my last pregnancy, I was actually getting into my 6th month. And I'd actually thought that I had made it, you know, because normally I would lose the pregnancy within 6 weeks, 8 weeks. And this one
it's like a breakthrough.
was a breakthrough, and we were going to a wedding. And feelings, you know, your body as a woman is a very, very complicated thing. And I woke up and I said to him, I don't think I'll make it to the wedding. And he said to me, no, let's go. I said, I'm really not feeling well. I'm really not feeling this thing. Anyway, cut a long story short, I lost the baby at the wedding.
Sorry.
I had a miscarriage at the wedding. And that pain, not the physical pain, it was a different kind of pain. Where you are numb, where people, as Neo said, you know, you see kids. For me, the stage where I needed to say to myself, okay, now I need to heal. I'm tired, I can't do this circle over and over again. I moved into a place, I actually hired a place, and I was living there. It was years after my divorce. And that particular baby, I even gave a name, because for me, she was real.
Okay.
You know, and I was like, if, you know, she should be this age, would see kids running around and be like, oh, my baby would be this age. And by the grace of God, I was at home that day. I was working from home, and this little girl that had just moved a few houses down the street from me came knocking at the door. And I opened the door and I looked at this child, and she was crying for me to pick her up. And I did not know what to do with myself. I opened the door. At first, you know, African people, why is this child coming to cry at the door? But I'm also very spiritual. I really, really believe in God. And I opened the door and I picked the baby up, and she held on to me for dear life. This child, so tight. And it was funny, because it was just 2 days when I was crying to God and I was saying, I cannot forget this. I am struggling to let my baby go. I'm struggling. Out of all the children that I've lost, this particular one was real. And it was, for me, that was a message from God to say, you now need to heal. Wherever she is okay. She came twice. The first time she came, she held me. The second time she came, she gave me a lollipop. I'll never forget it. And then after 6 months, they moved out. She had served her purpose. Part of your healing. Part of my healing. And with the divorce and everything, it took me seeing my husband. We are in the same industry. And I just bought a new car. Things were happening at work. And I saw him at this workshop, and I was looking good, and I was happy with my life, inverted commas. I'd covered my wounds, and I saw this man, and it was a trigger. And I was shaking, and I lost all composure. And I thought to myself, all the feelings of abuse, all the feelings of hate, all the hateful things that he used to say to me, to degrade me and to debase me. He literally took me from being a human being to being a subhuman. That's how much hate.
That's how you felt,
And that's how much hate he carried within himself. And I thought to myself, so what's going to happen when I meet this man again? Is this going to be my life? I mean, I just bought a new car. I'm at the height of my career. And here I am. Everything changed because I'm seeing this person. So I needed to address that wound of my husband.
Wow. Sure, it's getting really, really hectic here, but I'm loving it. Please stay where you are. We'll see you after the break.